Hello all my chickadees! Welcome back to my nest! Today we're going to be checking out a little game called Heart of Obsession. Now, this is, clearly possibly a Yandere game. This little knife. Oh, look! Our cursor's a knife too! Oh my god, that's so cool. It's like dripping blood. Hey, twinsies! So, this game, I think it might be the dev's first visual novel, possibly. And it was originally in Russian and then translated into English. So there may be a few grammar mistakes, but, you know, come on. Speaking more than one language is already wild. And, so we're just gonna dive on in and check this out. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're at school. Sleepily and tiredly blinking my eyes, I heard the school bell. Today I had to stay after class because Professor Sam was dissatisfied with my result on the algebra test that we wrote in last week. According to his instructions, I solved the task that he gave me in printed form, staying after the lessons of his second shift. I managed to cope with all the examples and tasks just after the end of one additional lesson. So we had to stay after to do more work. I quickly gathered my supplies into my backpack and left the classroom, moving through the empty school. It was very quiet, empty, and unusual. I am a capable and smart student, so staying after classes is a huge rarity for me. I never seen a school like this before, besides today, fell on the second shift, and taking into account the additional hours on the street, knew complete darkness. Okay, so basically, we stayed after, it's weird seeing it after school, and it's now dark outside. I got to the blue school lockers where the kids leave books, notebooks, or other supplies. It was much easier for me, because I carried a backpack, and I simply didn't need the cabinets. Suddenly, I heard someone's footsteps in the distance of the corridor. Oh, that's not creepy to run into. After hours, After waiting a little, I saw a guy appear at the end of the corridor. Why were you waiting? I would have booked it out the door, bud. From a distance, it was difficult for me to make out who it was, but it was clear he was moving in my direction. Okay, he looks a little friendlier close up. Hello. Right in front of me was a man I already knew. His name was Akis, and he studied in a parallel class. I never had much contact with him. Didn't even talk, but we locked eyes a couple of times, in joint lessons. Oh, our name is Ray. Okay. Hello, Akis. Do you know my name? Well, we sometimes had group classes, and that's what I heard it. I'm Ray, by the way. Yes, I know that. Well, what are you doing at school so late? I failed on math class and got suspended from class. Is it? Really? What a coincidence. Everything's the same for me. Apparently today we were simply destined to meet. Oh, we're blushing! Oh, blushing! Oh, he's giving us those bedroom eyes and we're blushing. Oh no. Looks like it. By the way, I saw you recently at an anime festival. I didn't know you were interested in that kind of thing. Oh, we go to cons too? Heck yeah. Do you think it's weird? No, that's not what I meant at all. I also really like anime, but looking at you, it doesn't seem like you would get carried away with such things. Here, I was surprised. Is that so? In that case, I'm glad we have common interest. You know, I always wanted to talk to you, but it always seemed like you wouldn't be interested in me. Really? To tell you the truth, I thought the same thing. I don't communicate with anyone from my class. They seem too simple for me. And in general, everyone at school, they're also ordinary, gray people. Like they don't have souls. There's nothing special about them. Oh, we're both blushing now. Oh no. But when I came across you one day, I immediately realized that you are not them. You're better. You're more interesting. You are exactly what I need. I don't like how slowly that was typed. That's very nice to hear, Akis. Then from today, I'll be your friend. The dark-haired man's face lit up with light, and his eyes were filled with something warm and tender. It seemed like this was what he had been waiting for all his life. I can give you a ride home. A taxi will come for me. No, it's not worth it. I don't live that far from here. I can walk. Fresh air is good. Are you sure? Akis's face changed noticeably. Oh, he don't look happy. He don't look thrilled. Apparently, after my declaration of friendship, he really wanted to help me with something. For example, getting home. But I really didn't need it, so I decided to refuse. Sure, but thank you very much for suggesting. If you want, we can go for a walk somewhere on the weekend. Oh, he's a little happier. Yes, sure, we'll go. Definitely for a walk. Well, then I'll go. By the way, this is for you. Yo, we got a Coke! He handed me a bottle of Coca-Cola, which I loved very much. Aw, he knew what we like to drink. Oh, thanks. This is my favorite soda. I know. Well, I'm off. I'll see you later, Ray. Akis's figure quickly slipped through the corridor and disappeared. I silently watched as he walked away. Once again, I glanced at the bottle of my favorite drink. Has it been opened? Has the seal been broken? That is my question. If it's been broken, more likely he put drugs in them. Oh gosh, did he give us a 2-liter? Dude, the way this is right here, I think he gave us a freaking 2-liter of Coke. Dude. Nice. Oh, here we go. Okay, save. Alright, yes, I really want to drink a cola right now. I don't think I want to drink it. Perhaps not worth it. Now I need to go home as soon as possible because I'm already tired of being at school. When I come, I can start watching some new anime. I heard that there was a lot of interesting titles that definitely deserve my attention. And on the way home, I bought chips with bacon. So the cola from Akis will come in handy. It was pitch dark outside. I'm not one of those guys who walks around with company in the evening, and I wouldn't want to seem like a recluse, but I really would be more comfortable at home. Yeah. Besides, over the years of living here, I have not been able to find company. Yes, even friends. I had to accept that for everyone in the town, I'm just a void, which is only sometimes suitable for attention. At nighttime, the small town was very dark but beautiful. After walking a little bit, I went out to the park, which was located next to our school. It was relatively illuminated by lanterns, which made me happy because now I could see where I was stepping. Even though everything was somehow illuminated, my eyes were still peering into the darkest corner of the park. But it didn't hold my gaze for long because it seemed like that if you look more than you need, something or someone will definitely jump out of the darkness. It was very quiet around, not the slightest sound. Even the crickets forever serenading fell silent. The only sound was the sound of my footsteps on the sidewalk. The music and everything quit, so it really is quiet. Oh my god, it's unnerving. Gradually, I accelerated my pace just to save myself from this night walk. I should have agreed for Keith to give me a ride. I muttered softly, but abruptly someone answered in a rude voice behind my back. It was necessary to. Oh, God. There was some kind of cloth tightly leaned against my mouth and nose, apparently soaked in something. The smell was very unpleasant, and literally a second later, I felt my consciousness begin to grow cloudy and my body weakened. I staggered and felt myself falling, but someone's hands caught me. Oh, we got knocked out. That's when I blacked out. Day 1. Oh no. It's so dark around. My body aches so much. My head just splits into into a million little pieces. I slowly began to open my eyes, clouded by the shell of tears frozen in them. Oh God, where are we? We in a basement? A padded room? Okay, are we in the psychiatric department now? I saw a white veil in front of me, and blinking a little more often, I realized that these are white walls upholstered with something. It's time to get up. Look, even we're wearing different clothes now. After making an effort, I lifted my heavy body and moved to a sitting position. Fuck, where am I? Looking around the room, I saw only 4 white walls, in the middle of which was a door. I got to my feet and walked closer to this door, trying to pull on its handle. It doesn't open. Of course. After feeling the walls, I realized that they were very soft, like pillows. I heard that there's a similar room in psychiatric clinics. No, this can't be happening. I'm definitely not in a mental hospital. It was only at that second that I looked at myself and realized that my old clothes were gone. Now, instead of black jeans and a red hoodie, I was wearing thin white pants and an equally thin white sweatshirt made of a pleasant material. Feeling my neck, I realized that my favorite choker was also missing. What's going on here? Boy, we got kidnapped. Okay, what's the last thing imprinted in my memory? I was at school and just talked to Keith. He gave me a Coke, but I decided to go to the store on the way and add more snacks. Walking through the park, someone appeared behind me, pressing a rag, forcing me to breathe something. He said something at that moment. What did the stranger say? Okay, we are gonna save here. Save. You shouldn't have. It was necessary to. You're welcome. It was necessary to. That's what he said. Exactly. I was very scared of the dark, and I think I said out loud I should have accepted his offer. Did he do this? It's been about 15 minutes in this white room, and I'm already seem to be going crazy. The white light around puts a lot of pressure on my eyes, and the absence of any sound is reflected by the endless ringing in my ears. Oh no, tinnitus. I hate that ringing. Closing my eyes, I tried to relax. After all, wherever I am right now, I'm here. I was purposely brought here, which means that everyone knows I am here. That someone knows I am here, and will eventually come. Sitting with my eyes closed and listening to the silence for a while longer, I doze off. I suddenly hear some sounds, barely perceptible, and I abruptly open my eyes and listen. Are those really noises? Or did I hear them? Sound like someone's opening the door. The sounds were repeated. In one moment of complete silence, my ears, already accustomed to silence, were deafened by the ringing of metal. It was like turning a key in the metal door. The door opened and a man appeared in front of me. Yep, it's him! Well, hello, how are you feeling? My new friend, Akis, was standing in front of me. There was a joyful, satisfied smile on his face. What does it all mean? What did you do? Why am I here? Oh, not so sharp. I would definitely explain everything to you. But first, you should have a snack. You haven't eaten anything in a relatively long time. Ooh, that looks good. Look at a little bento. Some chicken, rice, vegetables. Looks like a bit of egg, a tomato. I want it. Akis brought a container of food to me, including plastic appliances as well as a bottle of water. I look at him suspiciously, not daring to eat. Come on, Ray. You need to eat. It will only get worse without food. You brought me here, didn't you? Why would I trust you all of a sudden? Sorry, I had to do this. I just want you to gain strength and energy. Is it worth eating? Let's see. Da. No. Da. Da. Okay, da means yes, I do believe. So. Da. Da. Okay, no. Is it worth eating? I don't think he would poison us again now that he has us. But we're gonna hit... no. Here's another one. I'm not gonna eat what he gives me. He kidnapped me. You can't trust him. There could be anything in this food. How do I know it's cooked? I'm not gonna eat it, and I'm not gonna talk to you at all until you explain what's going on. Akis looked at me sullenly, clearly dissatisfied with my answer. Akis remembered your refusal. Oh no. Oh no, he has memory. No. I need to leave now, but as soon as I get back, we'll definitely talk about it. He put the food on the floor near the door. I'll leave this here. Understand, Ray. I do not wish you harm. I do not want you to starve. Please eat. Immediately after that, the dark-haired guy left the room, closing the door behind him. I'm alone again. Moving to the side of the room, I leaned against the wall and sat down. The container with my food caught my eye, but I held on with all my might. Every minute felt like an hour. Oh, our little tummy's growling. I don't know how long I sat there, but very soon my stomach began to rumble for real, and very loudly. In a room without a single piece of furniture, it could be heard very well. So in the end, I broke off and crawled to the container. Okay, come what may. After removing the lid, I felt a very pleasant aroma of chicken and rice. This is my favorite chicken with rice. The dish has really always been my favorite. After moving to the city, I began to live alone, and it was so fast and easy to cook that I very often ate only this. I wonder how he found out about my favorite food. Neatly sliced vegetables lay next to it. Taking the appliances, I began to devour the food with great appetite. The pieces just melted in my mouth. I've never been a chef, and I didn't really know how to cook, but I did relatively well, as for my own consumption. But it was just magical. Maybe the hungry environment here played that way, but I was ready to call the food in this container the best in the world. I'm sure he learned how to cook, just to make sure he made like the best for you. After the meal, I washed everything down with water, which turned out to taste like lemon and mint, as I like. I crawled back to the wall. He knows what I like, but from where? I have no friends, and even if I had, I would never have said about my food preferences. It could either be a coincidence, or he found out on his own. Maybe he was following me. It always relaxed me terribly after lunch. It's strange that I managed to relax here, but that's exactly what happened. Scrolling through the various options in my head, I gradually fall asleep. So, yeah, he's definitely been watching us for a while if he knows all our favorites. The sound of the door woke me up again, only now I wasn't as tense as the first time. Hello again. You ate. I'm very glad that you trusted me. Where have you been? I had to buy something. It doesn't matter. Okay, whatever you say. So what about the explanations, huh? You promised. Yes. Well, I don't know how to formulate it more correctly. Try it, I replied irritably. There's something I didn't tell you when we talked yesterday. I said that I accidentally saw you at the fest recently, and before that at the school, but in fact, I've been watching you for a long time. On that gray day when I first saw you in the middle of the school hallway, I realized you would become something special to me. There was a fuss and a noise around, and you were peacefully leaning against the wall reading a book. Then, I tried to overcome myself and try to communicate with you, but to no avail. You seemed like something out of reach, inaccessible to me. And instead, I decided to get to know you in a different way. I just realized my mic was turned all the way down, so if you guys haven't been able to hear me this entire game, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I've got it turned up now, but you guys probably couldn't hear me. Welp. Okay. Yep, here we go again. What does it mean to others? And Keith slightly closed his eyes, and a small smile appeared on his lips. I thought it was impossible to get to know a person better than directly. I decided to keep an eye on you. To observe? So you just decided to get in my personal space and stalk me. Well, it turns out like this. But now it's all in the past because now you're already here, and I don't need to resort to that anymore. So, you just wanted to make friends with me, but afraid to speak first, you decided to just kidnap me? Brilliant. Not quite like that. There are so many dangers and bad people in the world right now. It's just dangerous for a kind and gentle person like you to be in such an environment. There are a lot of bullies at school who don't speak well of you and your hobbies. I know all their gossip and conversations. They're neutral right now, but there may always come a time when they cross the line. I don't even want to think about the fact that you might be in trouble. You live all alone in your own house, not a very favorable neighborhood. Did you know that your neighbor across the street was in prison for 10 years for drug trafficking? Or that the overweight man next door is an alcoholic to the core? He was found on the streets of the city in a complete blackout 8 times. And not so far from your house lives a 50-year-old man who has several cases in the past for the seduction of underage boys. It's only on your street that people hide so much depravity in their souls. Imagine how many people like them surround you every day all over the city. I can't put you in such danger. My eyes widened to the limit. What is he saying? Is all this true? Though, what difference does it make to what happens in other people's life? But the fact that he somehow found out about it makes you think. Really? How do you know all this? I took care of you from the very beginning and tried to protect you from everything. Do you think I wouldn't check your neighbors and close relatives, acquaintances, friends? I fell into a stupor. But why? Why do you need all this for? Because I like you. What? Do you like me? At first, I thought it was due to a simple lack of communication on my part. But over time, I've realized I was wrong. I like you, Ray. I want to always be there for you, protect you, and do everything to make you happy. My head was empty. I just stared at him thoughtlessly, stunned by what he said. No one has ever told me this, and I do not know how to react to in such cases. And even more so in the case of a man who confesses his love to me while kidnapping me. Akirs, This is very nice, but for some reason it was hard for me to squeeze out the words. But you do realize that you can't keep me here, right? That's not a reason to kidnap me. You don't understand me yet. You have plenty of time to get into me. Please, Akis, you have to let me go. I can't stay here forever. Okay, so he's wanting to keep us here until we get into him, and I guess he's going to keep us after that too. So we're not leaving. We're not going to be leaving. True, but you won't stay either. If you're obedient, I'll let you walk around my house very soon. I'm sure you'll like living here. I'll create the best conditions for you, which you have not even thought about. Oh god, look at his crazy eyes. Oh, his little hearts in his eyes. Oh no. We can watch anime together, cook food, assemble a construction kit, and draw. And in the evenings, go out for a walk and enjoy the fresh air and nature. There'll be no school, lessons, household chores, and responsibilities. No problems, no worries. You will be happy here with me. He seems to be obsessed with me. You think? You think? He's super obsessed with us. I had to watch anime and play games in the genre of Yandere, but who would have thought that I would encounter similar personalities in reality? It is simply impossible to think sensibly in such a tense situation right now. Though he is clearly out of his mind, he does not seem to bear hostility and will not harm me. He said that I need to be obedient to get out of here. Then maybe you should try to indulge him in some way. Oh, we playing a dangerous game now. I think that, Akis, this is all wrong. I'll try to think about what you said. We're gonna sit that one now. Actually, go back. I'm gonna say this is all wrong. Uh-oh, he mad. But what he's saying is complete nonsense. How can I mindly agree to all this? Akis visibly became sad and frowned. Nothing. I didn't expect you to realize all this quickly. But I believe that in the end your decision will be right. Well, now that I've told you everything, I hope you'll ask a little less questions. Hardly. I'm tired of sitting here. Please let me at least walk a little. These white walls are driving me crazy. I'm not ready to let you out yet today, but I promise that if there are no accidents and you don't annoy me with your behavior, then we'll go upstairs tomorrow. Agreed? I'm trying to see if I can get a bad ending, but apparently he's just gonna... Agreed. Too long! Right? Come on now, please? I said no. Means no unconditionally, Ray. Try to be a little less glib and try to be more accommodating. If you continue to show your restless character, then in the end, it will make me angry. And then you won't come out of here at all. I strained. Understood. That's nice. I understand perfectly well that you're very bored here. So maybe you want to do something to occupy your time. For example? Well, I can't give you the internet to use, and I only have a TV and video games upstairs. So maybe you want to read something. I have a whole library with over 1,000 different stories. So maybe something that would suit you. Well, since you know what I like to read, then maybe my taste too. I wouldn't say I'm sure for sure, but still, if you want to read something, just say the word. Yes, reading is a great way to pass the time. I'm not in the mood right now. Let's say I'm not in the mood. Okay, as you wish, but then what can I offer you? Not available yet. Not available yet. Oh, there's gonna be more. Heck yeah. I'll read anyway. Good. Oh, we can choose what we want to read. I do not know any of these books. I don't know any of these books. What about John Simmons' book about mice and humans? Do you have one? Mice and humans? Okay, I want to... Of course. Then I'll bring it now. At that moment, Akis left the room and returned sometime later, but already holding a book in his hands. I mean, he doesn't have manga. He said he's seen us going to an anime place and we could watch anime with him, but he don't have a stack of manga? Come on. His hands were holding out a small copy with a bright cover. Thank you. I answered him abruptly, accepting the book. There was silence, and I did not know what to do next. Have you read it yet? I tried to elude the dialogue, though it was not very interested in his opinion. Yes, and more than once. In fact, this book is read in one go. There's another story with it. It's called The Pearl, and it's not slightly inferior to the main story. I did not know there was a story that connected to Mice and Men. I understood it that way. You read a lot. Yes, I have a lot of small hobbies, but I don't think you're interested in listening to this. I couldn't refute his assertion, but I couldn't agree either. Silent seconds followed again. He also continued to stand in front of me, smiling happily. Dude, are you gonna leave and let us read in peace, or are you just gonna stand there and watch us? He seemed to be waiting for something. Are you gonna keep standing here? I said to him, hinting that I would read it all alone. Oh, of course. Then I'll come back a little later and bring you dinner. Dinner? So the last meal was lunch? Does it turn out that I slept so much? Okay. Then let's start reading. I moved closer to the wall and sat down. Tucking my legs together, I opened the book and instantly felt a very attractive smell of printing. Oh yeah, the book smell. Yeah. Like, new book smell and old book smell are two distinct smells, but both are very pleasant. It's hard to explain to any non-bookworm. This is incomparable to anything. The paper felt pleasant to the touch. The font size of the story was the most optimal for me. Turning over the title page, my eyes began to run through the lines of the story, swallowing every word. Oh! A few miles south of Soledad, the Saladez River dropped in close to the hillside bank and runs deep and green. The water is warm too, for it has slipped twinkling over the yellow sands in the sunlight before reaching the narrow pool. On one side of the river, the golden foot slopes curve up into the strong and rock Gallivan Mountains, but on the valley side the water is lined with trees, willows, fresh and green with every spring, carrying in their lower leaf junctures the debris of the winter's flooding. Sycamores with molted white recurrent limbs and branches that arch over the pool. On the sandy bank under the trees, the leaves lie deep and so crisp that a lizard makes a great skittering if he runs among them. Rabbits come out of the brush to sit on the sand in the evening, and the damp flats are covered with the night tracks of coons. And with the spread paths of dogs from the ranches, and with the split wedge track of deer that come to drink in the dark. There is a path through the willows and among the sycamores, a path beaten hard by boys coming down from the ranches to swim in the deep pools, and beaten hard. Okay, it overlapping there, guys. Tramps who weirdly come down from the highway in the evening to a jungle cuddle, I don't know, near the water. Okay, I can't read that. Evening of a hot day started the little wind to... What is this? Are we going to be reading the entire book? Okay, guys, if you want to read this, please. Yeah, Lenny. Okay, if you guys want to read this, go ahead and read it. Seconds, minutes, and possibly even hours flew by unnoticed. Reading completely overwhelmed me. The story was really easy to read, just as Aki said. I flipped through the page after page, wanting to find out what would happen to the main characters next, and what it would come to. And here are the last lines of the story. After making a mark on my head, I closed the book and stared at the wall to discuss what I had read with myself and sort out all the events on the shelves in the warehouse of memory. After a little, while moving away from what I had recently read, I rushed to read on. There's another story ahead, which I'm sure I'll be just as excited about. Looks like Steinbeck is definitely my writer. Okay, well, we enjoyed the story. I said in my head and flew further into the vast expanses of the author's work. Okay. Wow. So many thoughts arose in my head. It's just impossible to calm down. In my life, there's always been one coded word: hyperfixation. After watching a movie or TV series, reading a book, I couldn't bear it to just live like before. My system inside seemed to reboot and turn on a new plot. Everything that happened to me before I got into this room was gone at the moment, and now I was only worried about the plot I had read. Akis came inside again, no longer caused negative emotions at all. Now I just couldn't get angry or think about the kidnapping. How are you doing here? Have you read something yet? I sincerely smiled at him. And I've already finished reading. Imagine. I've never read so fast, and here it turned out to be such a fascinating story. I liked it so much. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Maybe you want to discuss it with me? You want to discuss the book? With me? Of course. And I also brought some food for 2 people. Therefore, we can have dinner together. It's good, of course. Here you go. Okay, so reading the book totally rebooted our mind. We're like, oh yeah, we don't care about being kidnapped anymore. We just want to talk about this book we read. He handed me a baguette with cheese, ham, and mayonnaise. The bun is sold at school, and I buy it very often. Though there's nothing unusual in it. It's just a bunch of calories, but it's insanely delicious. Did he go to school to buy me this? This cute. Thank you. Oh yes, I completely forgot to give you a pillow and a blanket. Give me a second. He came back very soon and gave me the pastel underwear. Oh, he gave us underwear too? Akif sat down on the floor in the lotus position, and I lay down on my stomach. We began to discuss the book and ate at the same time. I've never had people with whom I would discuss ordinary topics like books. I always done it with myself once. I even tried to keep a personal diary. But I quickly got tired of it, and still can't be compared to live communication. I really wanted to attend some reading clubs, but I'm too antisocial for that. And I could never just start talking freely with someone. Oh, we're starting to get like, what is it? Stockholm Syndrome? Because we're like, oh, we finally have someone to talk to. Maybe this ain't that bad. But with Akis, it turned out by itself. Was it this easy? It's easy to communicate with him. He talked calmly, sometimes jokingly, but appropriately. He supported my thoughts at the same time, but he could also express his point of view, not a little, without hurting my opinion. It was nice. That's how free it is to talk to someone. We talked for a long time, and for a long time we ate pastries and drank all the soda, But even after that, we continued to talk for a long time, and sometimes the topics went beyond the book world. In the end, he announced that it's time for rest. To my great surprise, I didn't want to let him go. Oh yeah, we got Stockholm. Akis walked to the door with a big happy smile and looked at me after opening it a crack. Pleasant dreams, Rachik. And to you, Akis. So little has happened today, but it is so deeply imprinted in my memory. Yesterday, as always, I went to school, sat at my desk, sometimes talked with my stupid classmates. But right now, I'm lying on the floor of a white room in an unknown place, and I don't know what will happen next. How long will I stay here? How long will Akis want to keep me here? A day? 2? A week? Or maybe a month? Right now, I couldn't have made any predictions for my own future. Seems that my fate was in his hands, but in part, I can still influence it. But I caught myself thinking that I'll no longer feel locked up. Maybe it's because of the time I spent with him, and I feel better. I don't know. Tomorrow will be a new day. We'll see what happens next. Okay, where you can download the... Okay, there's where to check out the person. Okay. Yep, we got Stockholm Syndrome. Oh, wow. Actually, the translation was pretty good. I could understand it really well. It was just a little weird in some spots. But yeah, he put us in a room. What would have happened? I'm gonna jump back to check things out. What would happen if we chose this book? What is this book? What about Oscar's wild book, Portrait of Dorian Gray? Oh. Okay. Okay, then we have Dorian Gray here. If you guys want to read it, please read it. I'm not. This is a classic. Such literature was not so easy because of the language of those times. The manner of presentation is very unusual for the average person of our century. But still, I delved into the plot and realized that it was amazing. And Dorian himself interested me very much. Okay, so it looks like this is the same that we got into the book. And we talk about it. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what book we choose. What was the last book? The Collector by John Fowles. Oh! He stiffened slightly and looked at me in surprise. Do you know what this book is about? I know. Oh, back up. I'll give you a book at your discretion. I hope you like it. It said he didn't like your choice. He didn't like our choice. I saw a familiar book cover which I sometimes looked at the store. This book was from the famous author Stephen King, a relatively new work of his. Oh, he didn't let us have The Collector, so he brought us a different book. Into It. About a brilliant boy who is kidnapped and studied in a specialized place. You really? It vaguely resembles Stranger Things. I heard a lot about the book, but the prices in stores are not scanty at all. He handed me the book, seemingly untouched and new. Didn't you want to talk about the kidnapping? Haven't you read it? It looks new. It's just that I always do it as carefully as possible. Okay, so he did read it. I bought it and read it right after I saw your walk through the bookstore. You leafed through it for so long and looked at it, but never bought it. I wanted to give it to you someday, but I didn't decide in any way. We still don't know each other very well. Oh, that's how. Well, thanks. Probably. I'll read it. I hope that you'll like it. It was I who brought it. I understood that. You read a lot. Okay. He didn't like us choosing the collector. I'm not reading this. I'm sorry, guys. You can pause and read if you want to, but I'm not. Oh! Okay. I broke the game. Ignore. I couldn't get angry or think about my own objections. It's been a few hours. It's time for your eyes to rest. How do you like the book? I really like the book, but should I tell him about it? I brought this book, he bought it especially for me and even wanted to give it as a gift. I'm sure he would be embarrassed if I gave a negative review. Oh, maybe we should have read it. I have a short memory span, so we're not going to read the book. Let's say it's about kidnapping, and we've been kidnapped. No, I don't want him to know that he can make me happy. I liked it. I'll continue to read it with pleasure. No, we didn't like it. You know, I had more hopes for this book. I didn't like it at all. Looks like you don't know my tastes is all. Keith probably didn't feel very well. Oh, like, boy, we hated it. I'm sorry. I really wanted to make you take a little break from all this. I'm so sorry I couldn't do it. Seems like he was terribly sad now. You upset him! Well, you're probably hungry already. I brought you something for dinner. Here you go. We upset him. Akis, I'm sorry I upset you. Thank you for buying me this. Nothing. I had to stop by school, so I decided to buy it on the way. Thank you. If you want, you can sit with me. No. There's more soda for you, so I'll go. Bon appetit, and see you tomorrow. Ooh, we upset him. But not in an angry way. He's upset. Okay, he was definitely offended. I didn't think he would be so offended that I didn't like his gift. I probably should have told the truth about the book. But in any case, I can read it to the end and then say that I was wrong. Yes, I will. Well, now it's worth eating. Does he have a job to support us, is my question. He's gonna be buying us a lot of food. He's keeping us here. I ate a delicious meal and then lay down on the floor. So I wasn't uncomfortable at all. The surface was just right. Only a pillow was missing, but I couldn't ask for it anymore. I don't think a kiss will hear me if I called him. I don't know where I am right now. In the next room or maybe in a basement. And I wouldn't want to disturb him now. I'll sleep like this. I'll do without a pillow. So little happened today, but it was so... Oh, we reached the end again. Oh, we upset him. Okay, what happens? We say... We liked it. I sincerely smiled at him. I've read almost half of it, and I can say that I'm very interested to know what will happen next. I've never read so fast, and here it turned out to be such a fascinating story. I liked it so much. Oh, I'm so glad. Glad you liked it. Maybe you want to discuss it with me? Of course. And I also brought food. Okay. So, now we're going to be chilling and talking. Okay, so this just goes straight into talking about the book. We didn't want him to go. Alright. Okay, so we got that figured out. So we did all the books. What about this one? What should I say? We're going to agree to be nice. Well, that's great. I understood perfectly well that you're very bored here, so maybe you want to do something to occupy your time. Okay, so it kind of goes into the same one. But I guess we make him happier doing this way. Yeah, it's a great way to pass the time. Okay, so... Hey, that funnels into the same one. What happens if we drink the Coke? Why not? You got a Coke! I was pleased with the first gift from my new first friend. Akis is a nice guy, and as far as I know, very diligent, despite today's extra course, of course. I carefully began to twist the cap of the soda so that it would not explode in my face. Otherwise, I would have to spend time cleaning the floor from the splashes. Or you could just run away and pretend you didn't do it. Surprisingly, the bottle opened almost effortlessly, and I drank from it with a joyful expression on my face. It was drugged! What a thrill! The day was now officially a success. In a good mood, I finally walked out of school. Today I'm terribly tired of being here. It was pitch dark outside. Okay. Okay, we've seen this. It opened easily, so it's definitely been drugged. My head began to spin and my eyelids began to close. I tried to resist it and kept going, a bit through great force. Maybe the pressure has jumped? It's still 10 minutes to the house. Dunk, down we go like a sack of potatoes. While I was thinking, I didn't even notice how my thoughts were interrupted, and I fell on the sidewalk feeling nothing at all. So 1, we were forcibly kidnapped. 2, we were drugged. So dark. My body aches so much. Okay, so this is good. Picks up like normal. Was there something in that soda? Yes, yes there was. Why did he give me that? Yep. It was you who put something in my Coke. How do I know that there's no such thing in here? Why would I accept food from you? The guy in front of me went into an awkward surprise. Sorry, I had to do this so you wouldn't understand anything. But I swear it's perfectly ordinary food and water. I just want you to gain strength and energy. I still looked at him with disbelief, though he spoke very convincingly and it seemed to be the truth. Okay, we're gonna straight eat it this time. I don't think it was audible, but my stomach rumbled softly. I don't know how long I've been here, but I'm hungry. I hope he's not lying. I slowly took the container out of his hands. He was pleased and smiled. He is glad that you trusted him. I think you want to eat alone now. I'll come back a little later. Do you need something? No. Yes, actually, we need to leave. Leave. Or bring me a huge stack of mango. One of the two. Well, time to eat. Okay, so he's gonna explain everything here. I think that this is all wrong. I'll try to think about what you said. Okay, so we're trying to be good this time. What should I say? Agreed. Well, that's great. Do I want to read? Yeah, sure, we'll read. Like that one. He didn't like your choice. Ignore. But we're gonna say we like it. Okay. Okay, the way it's made, I think that they're planning on continuing the story and adding more to it. Because, you know, some of the options weren't available yet, and it was like into day 1. So it's set up like there's going to be more of it, and, you know, interesting to see where it goes to. Do we make it out of the room? Are we allowed to walk upstairs? Or, you know, wherever else in the house? Can we watch anime? This is the important questions. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I'm going to have a link down below so you can go check out this page for yourself. It is originally in Russian, so you'll have to, like, translate the page. But there is a download option to download it in English. So, yeah, if you liked it, give the dev some love. Tell them you liked it and enjoyed it and want to see more of this psycho little boy. Just, whew. Remember, make sure your sodas are actually sealed when you open them, okay? And it's not like already the seal's been broken, okay? Be safe, guys. But, okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye!